Who would like to see some more PC parts for my new build for 2018? Would you like that? Yeah? Okay then, let's do that. So I've had a little debate with what I was going to do with the next load of parts for this build. And I've now made a decision on what I'm actually going with. In fact, what I've gone for is all sitting right down next to me here. And I've decided to go with an all Corsair ecosystem. So the power supply and the cooling system will all be controlled by Corsair Link. So for that, I obviously needed some Corsair products. So what have I gone with? Well, first of all, the power supply, which is a big one. It is this beast here. This is the HX1000i digital power supply. So this is a fully modular 1000-watt power supply, which has, where does it say it? Anywhere at all, maybe on the box. It does actually say it on the box of the back, but this is an 80 plus platinum power supply. It's very heavy, as you predict with a 1000-watt power supply. You can see me, the reflection. Hello. But yeah, fully modular, also Corsair Link compatible, so it's all digital, so I can keep an eye on the fan speed in here or turn the fan off completely if I wanted to do that. And it does come with all the cables that you need, but they're all the flat black cables, I believe. So naturally I'm not going to be using them as much, but I will be using these cables that I actually got. This is just the 24 pin motherboard cable, but these are individually sleeved cables, also from Corsair. And the colour I chose, shown here, this is the metallic graphite colour. And I'll tell you what, I was a bit sceptical about this colour at first, because when I saw it in pictures it looked really dull, it didn't look like it shone in the light properly, but after actually seeing this, I'll tell you what, it shines beautifully. Absolutely love the braiding on this, it looks really cool. And I love the fact there's a cable tie in the middle already, so it's kind of bunched the cables up for me, which is a really good thing. So I've actually got some different cable management, a cable management sort of sleeve that I could put around these, and this will actually hold together really nicely. So that it'll look quite good for cable management in the back. It's got exposed heat shrink, so it's not too bad really in terms of appearance. I actually quite like it. I actually don't mind that at all. But it's the braiding that's really cool. But I'm not sure what it is. I think it's paracord. Actually no, that said, the cables in my current PC are the paracord from Cable Mod. I think this is nylon braiding. It looks coarser and rougher, so that's pretty cool. So that's that. And I've got the other modular kit down here as well, which also has metallic graphite cable colours. And now for the cooling system. Now, first of all, the CPU cooler, the very thing that's also going to cool down the CPU. Well, it's got to, it's its job. Now, I did a video of this before, where I was debating between getting Corsair and an EVGA one, which is the CLC 280. In the end, obviously, I chose Corsair, and I did say I wasn't going to go with the Pro version, because I personally prefer the aesthetics of the original H115i, and also the fans I can easily swap out. But in the end, I actually made the decision, and I actually did end up getting, when I bring it up here, I did actually end up getting the new H115i Pro instead, as I think this will have better support in the long run. And obviously you've got the full pump there, which has got the RGB lighting on it, as you can see there, and it comes with two 140 ml series fans. And to be honest, if you're actually just throwing this into, well, say throwing it in, if you're installing this and you're not worried about whatever fans you choose, I'd say these fans are actually pretty decent. But if you want to change them, that's what you can do, and that's exactly what I'm doing with this whole system. And obviously you get the full, very slim pump design. Obviously this can go through Corsair Link as well, so that is what's going to be utilised with this one. Let's put you, actually no, I won't put you on top of the power supply. I'll put you down here for the time being. just so it's out of the way. Now, for those fans, now this is going to be a little bit interesting because normally at this point you'd expect me to grab a whole bunch of Corsair RGB fans and put them on, and away we go. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use a total of 8 fans. 4 of them are going to go on this cooler in a push-pull configuration at the front, and 3 of them are going to be on the top. And they're white LEDs. They're not RGB. They're just white LEDs. They're nothing too spectacular, but they are still the ML Pro series. So this actually has a much better specification in terms of performance over the RGB variant, because this particular one, the ML140, can go up to a speed of 2000 RPM. It's never going to reach that, but that's what it can get to. The RGB variant can only reach about 1600. Therefore, in this, the sound level is obviously higher, which is natural, but the static pressure is very high, making this ideal for a radiator fan. And as I said, I've got 4 of these going onto the radiator in a push-pull configuration at the front, and one of them is going to go at the back as an exhaust fan, along with 3 120mm variant of the same fan all at the top. Again, these are going to be exhaust fans exhausting the heat out. Now, a couple of reasons why I didn't go with the RGB variant, obviously because of performance. In fact, this goes all the way up to 2400 RPM, so it's even faster. But the actual main reason why I didn't go with RGB RGB fans, can you imagine that idea? RGB fans, get it right, is because that to me is considered in-your-face RGB. It's going to be too dominating over the rest of the system. So in terms of RGB components, I personally think if you've got an RGB cooler, which is what I've got there, RAM, the motherboard and the graphics card, and then you just use good old-fashioned fans, that's, to me, is the best way to do RGB colorization. Because if you put RGB fans in a system, to me you're too focused on the fans. You're not looking more at the other components inside. Whereas with these, I think it will bathe the whole interior of the Enthoo Pro M case that I've got, that all this is going into. I think it will bathe it in a nice even white glow, but yet you can see individual components in their respective colours. Well, whatever colour you choose. And I think that will look really good. I think it will look very subtle, and that's what I like about RGB, in my opinion, subtlety. Whereas that said, I've got RGB lights around my desk and it's currently in this system, but that's besides the point. But that is purely my choice. But if you want to have RGB fans, then go for it. I ain't going to stop you. But as I said, it's my personal choice, and all of those components are going to be controlled by the Commander Pro USB controller. So with this, I can control my cooler, an SSD if I have Corsair SSDs, all the fans, the graphics cards, the power supplies, the RAM, all goes through this unit. So what I'm going to be planning to do is I'm going to let Corsair or Corsair Link do the hardware monitoring in terms of cooling. So I'm going to plug 2 of the fans, 2 of the 140s into the cooler's fan splitter, and they're going to be controlled by the pump. I'm going to try, if I can, to get the first 2 fans also on the cooler to work in tandem, but they're obviously going to be plugged into this, so I'm going to try something on that. I'm going to try to get the first 2 fans working in tandem with that cooler, and then the other 4, they're just going to act as case fans. And I'll just let the controller of that aspect do the work as much as I can. I mean, I'll probably group them into individual sections. So say, for instance, fans 3 to 5, I'll say they're top exhaust, and I'll let them do that. And fan 6 is rear exhaust, and I'll let it do that. But yeah, so far, I think in terms of all the components I've got now, including all the power supplies and the cooler and the fans and the cables, I'm very nearly there now. I've only got a few more components to now get hold of. One of which will be the next storage solution. Obviously the M.2 SSD that I've got isn't going to be enough for all my game storage, so I'm going to sort something out for that one. And the last one, well, is the graphics card. The graphics card will have to wait though, because of the prices being sky high at the moment, because of the cryptocurrency mining that's going on, and of course there is pretty much no stock of everything right now. So, but yeah, as I said, the next step will be the next storage solution, as I said, and I may get little bits and pieces here and there, maybe to improve my current setup, like say for instance, on my keyboard I might change the keycaps and put some O-rings on it, I might change my mouse, I might do other little bits and pieces here and there, but until then, when the graphics card stock normalizes and the prices go back down to a more reasonable level, that's when I'll put that's when I'll get the GPU. I actually kind of know what GPU I want to get, but here's the thing, I might as well get this out of the way now. When I do get the GPU, you're not going to see it yet until the build happens. When it happens, that's when you'll find out what GPU I've got. With that, I'm going to sign off for now. See you again soon. I hope you enjoyed part whatever number this is of my PC part reveal. I've lost track. And if you can't tell, I'm actually absolutely knackered. I've been at work all day and I've just been on my feet a lot. And it's so good to sit down. It really is. Bye.